guys, just a quick one actually. We don't normally do videos on the weekend, but because we had such a ludicrous Friday, we had a massive dump on the Dixie. So I just thought it might be an idea just to look at some dollar crosses as we go into the next week. But the thing is, the Euro USD, we have done a technical move here where we've got this diagonal, we've got a diagonal break. It's quite historical, it's quite old. And you know, we were above that trend line break. We've also got an ascending channel as well, where we've got a higher low and another, sequence of higher lows as well. So resistance at 99.83 is going to be a resistance at the round number because that's where the stops are going to be. And in fact, we can look at those stops actually while we're here. And we're going to look at GU and AU as well. So just a quick one just to check the liquidity. It might not load. Okay, so the stops are at 1, right? So it's like, go figure, right? So that's where the 3 dark guys have got their stops. So that's a look at the euro. Technically, maybe okay. We've got a trend line break and this got an ascending channel, but stops at 1. So it looks like there's going to be a resistance at 1.0027 ish. That would probably be enough to probe the stops and then take the ones above, and then we can maybe fall. We've got a bearish Gartley, so this is the sell. So we're still bearish on a harmonic view as long as we don't break above that. So 10092. So yeah, just that's of note. So quite bullish, but we have got a bearish Gartley where we have to break above that. And we've got an ascending channel as well. So the resistance is possibly going to be here. So you've got your pitchfork and channel top. I'm not sure what this line is. Let's take that line off. So that's EU. So maybe okay, but we're going to have resistance at 10027 because it's just 61.8 resistance. Okay. AU, and we'll look at GU as well. So let's zoom out. So we've got descending channel, and the 61.8 is 64.20. Resistance at 38.2 at 65.17. But fairly bearish because we've got that descending channel. We're below the pitchfork, and we're below that 38.2. If we go above 38.2, we could maybe come up to 66.27. So it's about 150 pips there. It's not a bad move, and then we're going to have resistance there because it's your median line resistance. So technically bearish, but we might be a buy above that to hit that, and then down. And then we'll look at GU, and I won't show you UJ because it's absolutely bonkers. It doesn't make any sense from a harmonic view. So GU is interesting because we're above that 50%. So, here. So that's your halfway point between that swing high to swing low. That's that really ridiculously low, historically low GU figure that we had. We really plunged. And so we're above the halfway point between that high and that low. So that level of note is 113.31 or 113.72. So resistance at 114.72, but we could argue fairly bearish because we've got a descending channel there. And so even if we broke above pitchfork, we're going to have resistance there. So fairly bearish, but we're above the 50%. So maybe it might be okay for a pitchfork break, but we're going to have resistance there. So yeah, it's about a 30 pip move. Actually, it's quite large actually because we're H4. It's quite a substantial move, so it could be a good entry for it to sell here potentially. And so that's that. So you done EU, GU, and AU, and I'm just going to show you the indices and gold because we normally do this 2-minute video in the morning. So this is how they ended up shorting the S&P, and it just really chopped. So currently they are selling it, but they need to continue to sell it for price to come up. We have got that support here, and we've got resistance as well. So these big old wicks, a huge wick, and there's a huge wick. So probably going to have some supply up here. It's going to probably struggle to overcome that supply. And remember the daily as well. We had that resistance, if you remember. So it's going to probably struggle, even if we overcome, that supply. We've got that technical resistance as well, and we are at a high level, a sell on the S&P. US 30, likewise, very choppy. They did sell it, so if they continue, then we can come up. And DAX is made a buy here, and we did really rally since. 13,166, 13,482. It's a huge move, and so you can see how you can, make profits. There's the sell here. Okay, so this wick would have been a bit naughty. You probably would have got stopped out potentially, but we did fall quite heavy, and then we made a buy here. So there's a lot of profits to be made if you use this SSI 21 moving average. And then gold, well, they sold, and I did say, it was a big move. Yesterday's bulletin. It was an 18% move at FX SSI, FXCM. This is the FXCM market scope. They sold it here as well, so the two agreed, and up we really came. So this rallied 3%. Silver went 7%. So we might have a more bonkers week next week. Where everything scrambles and it's like a mad panic. While the dollar is softening, things they go a bit bonkers, and commodities and things like that they will try and rally because they know that the dollar is going to just come back and become quite strong. So remember to keep an eye on the yields, and we didn't have an inversion of the 3-month and the 10-year, so that's good. We really don't want that to supersede that. If we do, then that's going to be pretty risk off, and these need to come down a lot as well. So remember to check the rates, bonds and government bonds, US. It's really useful, and I wish you a good weekend. So we're possibly going to have a bonkers week next week. The longer term trade idea, we can look at it on Monday. It might be invalid. We'll have a look at it properly on Monday, and if you remember, it was the Euro Swiss, so we can have a look at that and we can see if it's valid or not. It might be invalid because the dollar might continue to puke, and if it does, it's going to skew things. So I wish you a good weekend, and I'll speak to you guys soon.